guys, Dr. Will here from Miami Spine and Performance in Hollywood, Florida. We're here at Gracie Baja Aventura for part 3 of our Jiu-Jitsu injury prevention series. The last 2 weeks we've spoken specifically about things we can do for the hips to protect the lower back, hips, knees, ankles, etc. Now we're going to talk about the shoulder. So I also see a lot of shoulder injuries in Jiu-Jitsu, specifically related to things like kimuras, arm bars, and other shoulder locks. So it's really important with the shoulder. If you think about the mechanics of the kimura, what's happening is we're being put into excessive end range internal rotation. And not only during a kimura submission, but there's other times in the rolls that we can get stuck in this position and it can cause trouble for the shoulder. And a lot of times, unfortunately, those types of submissions can come on very quickly. If you think about also an omoplata, it can come on quickly and you may not have time to tap. Of course, the best way to prevent that kind of injury is to tap early, right? Not to try to fight your way out of positions. However, if you are an advanced jiu-jitsu athlete and you have knowledge of submission escapes, meaning escaping from kimuras, escaping from arm locks, escaping from omoplatas, you're gonna want a little bit of extra real estate in your shoulder to buy you some time to execute your escape, okay? So what I'm gonna show you guys today is a couple of ways you can really open up your shoulders so that you can be more effective on the mat and prevent shoulder injuries. So number one, we're going to start with Jacob here, is going to be the sleeper stretch. So Jacob's going to be on his side. We're going to just position the shoulder out a little bit, and he's just going to be gently stretching his shoulder into internal rotation like this. Now, there's a lot of ways that this stretch can be done incorrectly, where you're going to feel things like torque at the elbow or the chest or the front of the shoulder. But ideally, you want to be feeling the back of the shoulder stretching, because technically, this is a stretch for the posterior capsule of the shoulder, meaning it's helping that shoulder sink back into the capsule, right? So that way, when you're put into a provocative position, the shoulder is in a good position to withstand that. Just like the pigeon stretch I showed you guys 2 weeks ago, Jacob can also oscillate in and out of this stretch. So you can push down, and then you can pressure off. You can push down, you can pressure off, push down, pressure off. Right? So this is a great way to start. This stretch, I actually think you could hold for up to 2 minutes, right? And oscillating within that time. But to me, you could do 2 minutes with this stretch, no problem. At least 60 seconds. Anything less than that, and you're not really going to get a good stretch to the post. So now I'm going to have Jacob sit up, and we're going to go through an active motion. So you can either go from like a tall kneeling position, you can sit back on your feet like this, which is a great way to also warm up your ankles and knees. And I'm going to have Jacob go into capsule cars for the shoulder. So he's going to be at a 90-90 position like so. He's going to slowly rotate his hands in and forward. Just like that. Until he hits a barrier, and then he's going to rotate backwards. Until he hits that barrier. Notice again, with this exercise, Jacob is being extremely strict with everything else, right? It would be very tempting to, try to round your upper back or arch through your lower back or poke your head forward to try to gain a little bit of extra range. But Jacob knows that we're using this exercise to try to help the shoulder. So we want to work with what we got and go from there, okay? And he's just going from barrier to barrier. He's not pushing through any barriers because, again, we're just warming up. It takes a lot of time to improve shoulder rotation. So don't expect 15, 20 degree change in just one session. You got to work at it. And sometimes you also need, manual therapy, chiropractic care to expedite this as well. So now we're going to go through a little bit of a trickier exercise, which is the shoulder swimmers, okay? Again, if you've been following my content, because I see so many shoulder injuries in the clinic, I try to educate you guys on shoulder injuries, shoulder mobility, and the swimmer is one that I brought up multiple times. So we're going to review it today in the context of jiu-jitsu with a little bit of an extra twist for internal rotation. So Jacob, go ahead and start with your hands behind your head, knuckles connected. Okay, from here Jacob's going to extend his elbows, like so. And then he's going to rotate and touch his knuckles together behind his back. Good. Now here's the little twist. Go ahead and relax in that position, Jacob. Keep your knuckles together. From here, I want you to relax, and then I want you to squeeze your shoulder blades together and extend your elbows. And rotate back up and touch the knuckles together behind the head. So just like before, Jacob, behind the head. There we go. And go back to the lower back position. Rotate. Good. Now relax and squeeze the shoulder blades. Good. Perfect. And one more time. So you can see he's really taking his shoulders through a little bit of a larger range of motion here, and incorporating other motions as well. Touch the knuckles together and extend the elbows, rotate. And as you can see, his upper back's really working hard, delts are working hard. Good, you can go ahead and relax, Jacob. So that's a very challenging exercise. And guys, again, some of you, if you have a history of shoulder injuries, if you have tight shoulders, you might find that you're gonna get to a position where you're not gonna be able to touch your knuckles together. That's okay. Remember, the purpose is to avoid compensation. So I don't want you guys to majorly compensate with your upper back and touch your knuckles together. Stay nice and upright, and if you have to just touch your knuckles against your hips, that's no problem. Right? If that's end range for you, that's where we want to start. Then we can have the goal of eventually touching our knuckles together behind the back. So again, guys, this sequence of stretches is for internal rotation. So we have the sleeper stretch. We're going to hold for 60 seconds to 2 minutes. We have the capsule cars on in a tall kneeling position, ideally, and then we have the shoulder swimmers to really round everything out. So thank you for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any requests for other jiu-jitsu injuries, or if you want me to do other breakdowns related to grappling, please let me know. I'd be happy to do that.